Okay, well, good evening. I guess I should really start by saying what it is about duck that kind of like brings me back to it time after time, and that's sort of without being overly sentimental or over the top. I think really sort of just the diversity of what duck offers means that most students within the university will at some point have some involvement with duck, whether it's chucking some money in a bucket or it's raising £2,700 and climbing to the top of Machu Picchu. Duck means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and as a result there's a lot of different representation that needs to happen at the manager's level. And I think also just the sheer amount of money that duck brings in is colossal, and it supports so many different charities and so many different causes, which again in themselves are very diverse. I mean, that sort of amounts to over £500,000 a year, and it's a big commitment, and duck is a sort of a big organisation in a lot of senses. It does also bring a lot of variety to the things that people can get involved in, and as a result, the leadership involved in duck is quite a challenge, and it does require different sort of assets. I think it requires a certain amount of confidence. You need to be able to sort of lead by example, not sort of suggest things to people that you wouldn't necessarily do yourself. I think you need to be clear, concise, be able to just convey what you're trying to say without being over the top. I think you need to be diplomatic when there are certain decisions which an exec can't decide over, and reps from all the colleges want to go in a certain direction, and you have to be sort of wary of all the sort of things that could come up in terms of like the wacky ideas, and try and sort of contain them and do something productive with them without limiting that sort of creativity and the spark that can sort of take them on. So what do I think I've done in the past that would make me good at this? Well, I've come from an expedition side for duck. In my first year I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. In the second year I ended up leading that expedition. And this year I'm in charge of all 10 expeditions that duck runs. That involves looking after 14 different leaders and over 170 different participants. The income of a huge amount of money and a lot of administration. I think that in itself, being one of the biggest branches of duck, has led me to be able to sort of see where duck can move on in a lot of different senses, where sort of things can be made more efficient and things like this. And I think also being on the exec this year has opened up the whole range, the whole spectrum of things that duck offers. I think each year the duck manager has the potential to make or break the organisation, and as a result it takes a lot of sort of commitment and sort of self-awareness to be able to push people and help them to decide what the best ways forwards for their ideas and their creativity is, without being sort of too limiting as well. A big aspect of duck isn't all about bringing the money in, but helping people to develop themselves in their own way, even to make mistakes, which in other circumstances in life wouldn't necessarily be possible, but that people can learn from. And I think duck has a huge part in bringing a lot of people together as well. The Queen's campus has always been, since its creation, a difficult step for Durham to be completely tied in with. I believe that duck, and especially with its expeditions or the things where people get together, is able to sort of build those ties. And duck has a huge part to play, although it seems a bit out there. Duck has a huge part to play in tying the two campuses together. I take quite a critical perspective in charities. I believe that there are certain charities that do amazing work and bring in a huge amount of money for some very good causes. But there are also quite a lot of malpractice as well. And I'd like to believe that duck can lead the way in pointing out that malpractice, or rewarding the good things that do go well and that charities do well as well. and making sure that all the affiliations that we have as an organisation are completely legitimate and based on good research. I also think that Queen's campus are not as involved in Duck as they could be. And as a result, we have the potential to be able to have a part-time member of staff there doing a similar job to what I would be doing. And I'd really like to try and push for that. And I think it really takes a kickstart like that to be able to do.
I've got mine.
So there are a few other points that I've tried to make clear in my manifesto. And there are certain aspects of what I'd like to do which are going to be sort of progressive throughout the year, and I think the strong start that we've made this year is going to springboard from that. But
Martin, finish that, please.
I finished.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So Martin.